Well, wouldn't it be a lifesaver if your employer came to the rescue when you needed it most? Well, that is what one local employer is doing for one of his employees after receiving news about her serious accident. Angie Toussaint tells us more.
The traffic accident Rochelle Larona was in was described as one of the most terrifying ones of the year after her vehicle, driven by her husband Leo Larona, on the night of Saturday, May 3rd, was rear-ended and forced into a pole where she remained trapped for over an hour. 2 other vehicles were involved, causing a 3-car collision. Doctors determined that Rochelle needed immediate medical care, and she was quickly transferred to the Bahamas for treatment. Rochelle was said to have suffered from a number of serious injuries, such as a fractured skull, 4 broken ribs and lacerations to the arm, and a broken pelvis in 4 places. Rochelle's medical bills were so high they were at an estimated $40,000. Rochelle was in a foreign country. Her bills were piling up and she had no health insurance, so Faith and her employer intervened.
Well, it very quickly became evident that the hospital bills were going to be very significant, probably in the neighborhood of about $50,000. So her friends and her family and employer have set up a fund, which is through Miller-Simons, where people can make donations if they'd like to make any sort of contribution to all of her medical expenses.
John Paul Lamb, Rochelle's employer, says the feedback from residents, friends, and family has been great, but more funds are needed to alleviate the high cost of medical bills for the Filipino national.
Well, fortunately, her status is stable. The main concern was that she had a fractured skull and they had to get her up to Nassau to perform tests and CAT scans and the like. So that was the significant cost, was actually the area ambulance getting her up there, and then she spent about 2 weeks up there. Now that her situation is stable, the doctors feel that she's okay to be home while she recoups and her bones heal. And we felt it was probably the best thing to do to bring her back to Provo. As it stands right now, and she still has a ways to go, they're approximately $40,000.
Donations to the Rochelle Fund can be made at the Coral Gardens office. Contact number 941-5497 or 331-9945.
We've got to make sure that these bills are paid, and like many other people on the island, she didn't have insurance. It's something that we all consider after the fact, but she needs all the help she can get, and we're going to do everything we can to help her out.
Donations are also accepted at the Miller-Simons O'Sullivan office above TCI Bank and Butterfield Square. For WIV4 News, I'm Angie Toussaint.